on the troll.
Hello and welcome to Randoms. We are back with this show. We know for sure we've been out for sure, but we are back. Look, man, I watch Emily. I watch Lami, and then I was touched by what happened today.
Yeah.
But then I said, it can't be that I'm watching this thing alone. Then I decided then to call you to say, can you watch it? Maybe let us have this conversation. Yeah. So we are here now having this conversation. This is Mr. Anonymous, and then this is Emily in front of you, waving, coming to you in colors, I would say.
Yes.
So I don't know what you think, Emily. What is being said there by Dlozi?
Season 6, episode 11, okay? We have the spirit of Martha that has contacted Usis Thembi. Now, the person who wrote to the show is Sukolo Stephen Teu, who is from Bothaville, okay? And he says that there is something that he needs to know just before he goes into an operation. But what mainly brought him to the show is the fact that his money disappears. He mentions that he spent he had cash with him. He sold 3 of his cars. One was 40,000, 43,000, and 32,000. And he doesn't know what he did with the money. He can't pinpoint. He can't point something. Just one asset, something that he did with all of that money. He also mentions that his daughter got lobola last year, 24th of September. He still doesn't know what he did with that money. It vanished within 2 weeks. By the time it was time for the wedding and the bride's family had to assist with some of the things that take place when a wedding happens, he couldn't explain what happened to the money. He didn't know what he did with the money. So that was his main concern.
But isn't it the issue that if you are ignoring certain things from ancestors, you find your money, you would say you are bewitched, because your money just tends to vanish, even if you are making a huge money, but it just tends to vanish. It does not sit in one area. It does not sit with you forever. But then continue telling us.
But we also can't take away the element that there are some people who dabble in making people's monies disappear.
Definitely. If you give someone money, you must always be wary of that, obviously, because money is a spiritual thing also.
You know, I never understood why our Islam, I don't know whether to say Islam, but the Indian, I don't even know, like they mainly practice Muslim. When you buy from them, right, they put money on the counter.
Yeah.
I never understood that. I thought they were rude. But after hearing from other people, apparently they believe that money is a spirit.
It is a spirit.
You need to neutralize it by putting your money on the counter first before they can pick it up.
Definitely.
I never knew that, guys. I never knew that.
Yeah.
So he says he wants to find out what is happening, but mostly he wants to connect to the spirit of his parents and grandparents. Okay, Usis Thembi arrived, and as she arrived, she instructs that there's actually 2 people that have come upon her. And there's 2 chairs next to her.
Yeah.
So the spirit of a man, which is his mother, and the spirit of a man, which is his father, and the spirit of a woman, which is his mother. But the woman is the one who goes first, Martha. Now, Martha says that he is quite glad that he took the step to try and find out what is happening spiritually.
Yeah.
Because he's sick. Okay, Sukolo is sick. He has a thyroid problem.
Yeah.
What is happening is that he has a bump over here, which is a huge lump that has went sideways. And it has also pushed his Adam's apple to the top.
Yeah.
So the doctors have been advising him to undergo an operation, which he has been postponing for a couple of years. Apparently, he had booked for this operation before 2020.
Yeah.
And then obviously all those things that happened, and he delayed it. It's now 2022. He definitely has to go in for this operation. But then the Spirit was pleased that he came to at least find out what might happen, because if he goes to that operation, he might actually die.
Yeah.
Because what is happening spiritually. So the mother then continues to say that, remember your father, okay?
Yeah.
And remember your grandfather.
Yeah.
Okay. Your grandfather was not born from the Nteu family. This is a message that we needed to tell you, okay? That he was not born from the Nteu family. So what happened was the mother hid the pregnancy and Mbambisi bunch, basically.
Yeah.
The grandfather, great grandfather.
Yeah.
So he raised their grandfather under the pretense that he was his son. Only to find that bloodline, he's not his biological son.
No.
So now he shouldn't make a sacrifice of an animal. Okay, that will be coming up next. Actually, he's sick. The reason why he shouldn't make a sacrifice of an animal is because he's not well. And I just found this out, that when you are sick, you're not supposed to slaughter.
True. So the first thing that I would like to disagree with when it comes to this Thembi guidance, one is that in this case, a guy is not supposed to slaughter to actually introduce himself in a family that he does not belong to. Rather, go back to grandmother that created this chaos and use that surname, because that means you guys are a bloodline of that surname. That's the only trace you have. Nothing else. You just have that trace of that bloodline, which is a maternal side. So you need to stick on that. And you'll hear eventually Thembi trying to advise on the Malume side, because as we go on, talks about maternal side, which is very powerful in a sense. You need to belong there if nothing was done by the father's side to marriage-wise, or even paying lobola for you as a kid if they are not married to the man. And that remains the same. It has not changed. And one thing about African cultures, in South Africa more so, it's more one thing. It really differs. It's just that people, you would ask them these things and they say culture of Zulu is not the same as culture of Swati. It is a lack of understanding.
Because he's Soto, and it's kind of like the same the same problem.
It is almost similar. There's really a differentiation between these cultures.
And don't undermine Dlozi lagwa mama as well.
Very powerful, Dlozi lagwa mama. Generally, if you do that in your own, I would say, risk, because they always are the ones who are powerful compared to the father side. So should there be problems on the father side, you obviously have to stick with the mother's ancestors.
So he's saying that the spirit of Martha is saying that the surname is not benefiting them at all. So there's no protection. Should he go to that operation table without addressing this issue, there will be no protection.
Yes.
That's what the spirit was saying.
Yes.
And they also recognize, which is the spirit of his father and mother, are recognizing that this operation is actually urgent. And because it is of urgence, they will require or ask permission for him from the other elder spirits.
Yes.
So that they do not take him while he's on that operation table. And they actually pleaded his case that when he gets out of that operation, only then, and after healing, only then can he perform the ceremonies that they are requiring of him.
You see also the part of why I say the maternal side would be the one to do all the right things.
Yeah.
I'm saying that because one, it's sort of based on what you are hearing. The other ones are probably ready to take, which is could be in bracket a father's side. In this case, not being a father's side. So they are quick to punish.
Because they can't recognize.
Yes.
To them, it's like you're a stranger.
And you are not just a stranger, you are doing something wrong, Mzinwabo. You are not supposed to be there.
Oh, you're not supposed to be performing
the rituals there. Yes. It's because if you were to perform rituals, who are you performing it under in terms of the supervision? Because the people that should be doing this are people who have the blood of even if they try to introduce it, you can't do it on your own. It's like me saying I'll go to your surname and introduce myself. I can't do that without you allowing me. Who's that blood? Who's the blood of the family?
Yes.
This one is not the blood of the family. Yes.
So also they make him promise that after he's done with the operation and he's healed, he must come back and perform those rituals.
Yes.
Well, Usis Thembi, on the other hand, had advice for spiritual guides that you guys need to assess a person's health before you prescribe a slaughtering, a slaughter practice. It's very sensitive. So if someone is very sick, you are supposed to find out whether they are healthy or they are sick first before you prescribe that.
Normally, if you were to heal someone or you have to address things spiritually and someone is sick, water way of healing than the blood way of healing is advisable because you are dealing with someone who's sick. So you do not touch blood when someone is sick because that is a sign of allowing or wishing that person well, wishing that person a better journey to their ancestors, or even giving them something to come to appear with, which is you slaughtering that goat or that cow, that chicken. So you are not supposed to do that. The best way of making sure that the person gets better using herbs and all those things. And if it requires maybe in Tlamblu, use water, and that person should get well and promise as they get well, as it happened, then something will be done if the blood is still requires, the blood of the animal still required.
Powerful stuff. Well, the spirit of his uncle now shows up. His uncle is his mother's brother. He also has a request. He's asking for help from the gentleman. He's asking that, you know what, my children are suffering. Because I also continued in the wrong surname. Now, according to him, his uncle's surname was Komu and his mother's surname was Nje. So, because they didn't share the same father, they only shared the same mom, it means that the uncle is requesting to be returned back to his mother's surname.
So you see that's exactly, this is the same, I would say the same scenario solved in two different ways. That is why I'm saying it is not making sense why you do promote for someone or advocate for someone to actually introduce themselves into a family that is not theirs. The uncle is crying about that this was never my surname. So by me actually bringing my kids to the surname, I'm struggling. My kids are struggling.
Cross over, sort of. It's a difficulty for him, and it's also causing difficulty for his
the kids
that are left behind. They are all suffering. It's a mess. So he's requesting him to do him that favor. Introduce ingane zakhe emsamweni wasekhawuma.
And he's got the very same, I would say, right. Because he also needs to use the same mother. Okay, so that's where you kind of differ with Usis Thembi. I differ there because it's a contradiction. The second solution is the correct solution. The first one is rather
not so much
wishy-washy.
Because she's saying that what he needs to do is apologize to the ancestors.
That where he doesn't belong. What about the ancestors that are not one? And I'll tell you why. there is no payment, no damage, no nothing that was done for this kid. Because it belonged to some marriage, some sort of.
Yeah.
So there is a huge problem. To solve for that problem, take the kid back and then solve the problem at home.
So yeah, also what was shared is that many people embark on slaughtering. Okay, but before you embark on slaughtering, it's very important that you find the status of the surname as well as the conditions before you allow anybody to slaughter on your behalf.
Yeah,
that's
that is
what
true.
Systembi was saying.
So there are many ways that you can look at this thing. Some people slaughter like this guy. If he was to slaughter on that family where he doesn't belong, it's a problem.
It could cause a lot.
You are causing
problems.
havoc to your life.
Havoc.
Sometimes people slaughter at home where someone of the family member who belongs to this family has done something with the ancestors. And then when you slaughter, you are basically killing someone. So that is, you'll find families where they are not even supposed to touch blood because of that situation. And then the other thing is obviously sickness. You don't slaughter when someone is sick in the same yard. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
So there are many scenarios that actually create havoc for people in the slaughter, such that they are confused. But
we end up assuming it's demons.
Yes. Make sure that you are aligned and you are well informed about the history of your family.
Yeah, that's very important.
Because if you do know what happened, what was the last thing, who are you jumping as you slaughter? Someone who needed to maybe do cleansing function, and then you are slaughtering for an issue that came just now. That person can kick back. So you need to sort out your umsamo basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So also Sukulu's wife, she also has an issue.
Yeah.
Gutiwa amadlozi kubo come to her with violence because she has been resisting to go and twasa because she has a gift. The elders of the wife came to Systembi, and they were saying that wherever they are right now, they are suffering because they refuse to work for Mungwameti. Mungwameti is a spirit of water. So they refused to go and work for that spirit, and now wherever they are suffering. So the calling that she has, it is aligned with the water spirit. And they have given it to her.
Perhaps a short background of water spirit. It's not an animal that is not known. It's the ancestors. Some of them might have perished in that water during the warfare. Some of them, there are many things that could have happened in those waters. Because water is a spirit on its own.
Itself.
So you need to understand that when people go there in water, people think that it's a different demon that they are serving.
They call it a marine spirit.
Yes, it's the same spirit of the ancestors as we have the level of umdigi nomdao. Those are ancestors, and people would call it differently. People would make a reference to many different things. No, there are people who passed away in water when the Western people were taking out. So those people, they still come and also want something to be done for them, because as they perished there, no one at the time of war had the time to go and pick them and bring their spirit, because no one even knew where they perished. So when you are called by the spirit, a certain spirit at home, more so, gulidlos lasekai, try to understand that.
Find the background.
Yes.
Because there's definitely a story there.
Yes.
There's no spirit that will just sukela you and just...
No, there is no such.
Okay. Like how Abazalwane puts it, they're like, these spirits, they just come to you, you know, they just come to you. And it's quite strange because that's not an African prescription. Yeah. So now she's saying that they are frustrated. These are the spirits that are talking through Sistembi. They are frustrated because they have tried to get Lo Mama's attention, the wife's attention, and she's not answering. Well, she says that she doesn't see anything and she forgets her dreams. And one of the signs that she has been ignoring them is vitiligo. I remember growing up and seeing some people with that condition. We used to call it mollo abadim, and then as I grew up, I found out that it's vitiligo according to the doctors. But usually when that happens on your skin, it usually means that you are having a calling in my culture. I don't know about yours.
It is still like that. As I said, there's nothing that
so these things are the same as and then Usistembuti, a true calling does make you suffer, and it does compromise your health.
Exactly. So now you see why when we see certain people just deciding to go there and do twasa and twaso, it leaves question marks, because those people, we are seeing them day in and day out, we are working their jobs, everything is fine.
Normal. They just want more money.
Yeah, they just want more money.
And soft life.
But they are using that for increasing whatever that they have. Yes.
Yeah.
So now
there's no serious
they have
sickness.
a name now to say that we are Siaba Pagamisa and all that.
Pagamisa means something else. It's not aligning with your ancestors. It means it's a totally different. You are delving into other spirits.
You are stealing other people's spirits, and you are using them to gain while you're still alive. And the danger of that is that the time when those people decide to leave you, let's say in a situation where someone was killed before their time, and then you use that spirit on the time when they are supposed to die, that was prescribed by God. When they die, you normally follow them because you've been using their spirit, right? A human being is a spirit.
Guardian.
Yes.
Because everyone is assigned a guardian spirit that looks over them.
So once you take those people, what they don't tell you is that your spirit also dies, and then the spirit of that person prevail.
What do you mean? My spirit dies.
So if I take you
of the person
now
prevails
and kill you, I want to use you for my own ngutwebule or something. I'm taking you. People at home, at your place, they will bury you, and that's well and good. Done. Emily is gone. But I know that you are not gone. You are actually taking over my life, because I'm using you now to get more of whatever that I want. So on the time, that means you probably died before your time. So God has a time that is prescribed for you to pass away. When that time comes, so many people will be talking about the dreams. I dreamed about my sister or my brother dying again.
True.
It's because they were never dead. They were taken to be used, and then they die. When they die, now for real, now you still dream about them dying, because that's why you need an interpreter of dreams, because now you are talking about someone who was alive according to you, who had passed away, and now you're gonna dream them as their sister or brother, because they didn't die at the time. It is only now that it's their time of dying, so they are dying for real now.
Wow. So according to the ancestors, Baga Mama, they are saying that she's too old now. Uktwasa Sindao is going to be very, very difficult for her. It's apparently the most difficult process. Yeah, so they're saying that, you know what, it's too late now, but what she needed to do was to apologize and explain to them how come she did not respond to them while they were instructing her. So she needed to apologize and explain that she didn't see her dreams. She wouldn't remember her dreams when she woke up. So it wasn't because she was ignoring them, it's that she honestly did not know, and she was waiting for them to communicate with her. But they are saying, we have been communicating with you and you have not been responding. So she just has to apologize to them. Hectic.
It is hectic.
So now they are saying they're going to choose someone else. So they're going to wait her. Now that she is asking for forgiveness, they are going to have the option of choosing somebody else who's younger. So she will have to say, you know what, please forgive me. So they pours a glass of water and snuff. That was the prescription today for them to communicate with their ancestors. So Sokolo updated his ancestors on what's happening with regard to the operation. He had to explain what the condition was to them. And then they delivered their message and talked back to him, his ancestors. They talked back to him via System B, and they said, you know what, they give him the grace to go through with the operation. And once he's done healing from the operation, they will give him time to heal the right way. And then he can come and fix whatever they requested. And then Ngomama, the wife, what is happening? She also talked to her ancestors and explained herself. So they responded by saying that even if we do take the gift back, it doesn't mean that you stop communicating with us. So don't stop communicating with us. Update us. Let us know how you are doing and how you are responding, you know. So that is how it went down on this episode, and it really blew me away. I'm like, yo. Yeah,
it was a banger, but there are things that needs to be fixed.
Oh, and another tip that Usistembi has, guys. Apparently there are people who know and have mastered to tap into your dreams and manipulate your dreams. So it's very important that you pray before you close your eyes every night. You pray to God to ask you so that you can get proper messages from from the pure ancestors that are put upon your life, so that you know that you can tell when someone or something is tampering with your dreams.
That is true. And what I like is that Thembi is not saying pray to ancestors. He's saying pray to God. And that is how, and I want people to actually remember this episode, that God and the ancestors, they are not fighting. We are fighting because of the history of our lives and what we've been told in this earth. There is no fight.
And you know, the term that unkulunkulu or God that our ancestors had of him, they called divinity, the spirit divinity. So now I'm like, so when now what you need to do is identify laba bebemazi uNkulunkulu basebenzela ukukhanya, not necessarily the other ones. And now where you work your way on earth so that you don't form part of the other ones.
Good challenge in challenge.
It's that simple, and we've overcomplicated it.
Thank you very much for being with us, and tell us what you thought about the show. Tell us what you think we can do for this channel. It's your channel.
Feedback, please.
Thank you very much, and bye.
Bye.